feels very French royalty because it's like teeny tiny and you can hold it in your little thingies and it's just like so it's like very appealing because it's kind of like a rainbow.
Yes.
Looks very fresh and summery.
Do they go to Hawaii? I feel like they might. I mean, I don't know fish, man. You're like incensed about the chicken. Oh my god. Oh my god. How dare you?
What's wrong with you?
Hello and welcome to I Should Have Known, the trivia game show that can't be trusted. Each week, our Quizmaster will present you with 4 facts about a topic, but one of those facts will be a lie. And we are celebrating season 4. We are kicking it off with Rainbow Month for June. And this week, our host is Sups.
Aloha.
Sups is going to be presenting us with 4 facts on colorful culinary creations, but one of his facts is inedible and is a lie. So join me, Andi, and our other host, Tanner, in figuring out which one it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you hungry?
Oh, yeah.
I hope you're hungry.
Hungry for facts.
Hungry for facts, yes. But before we get started with the facts, let's do our PQQ, the pub quiz question of the week. All right.
PQQ.
Love it.
So, this celebrity chef is known for his sharp tongue. He's been on many TV shows such as Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef and owns 3 Michelin star restaurants in London. Who am I talking about?
This is one of like 3 chefs I know.
Yeah, exactly. When you first were saying I was going to be a chef, I was like, oh no, I'm screwed. But I do know this one.
It's Gordon Ramsay, right?
Yeah, Gordon
100%.
Ramsay.
Yeah.
He is like really one of like 3 or 4. I could have told you.
Okay, good,
So,
good.
yeah.
Okay, we can start with 4 facts and we're going to do 2 sweet and 2 savory.
Ooh, I love
perfect.
it.
Put some thought into the menu. I like
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go around the world for this, but let's start with France.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Fact number 1, macarons were served as the dessert at Louis XIV's wedding.
Oh, okay. Macarons, macaroons. It's always like, which is the right form? I don't know.
Well, in case you didn't know what macarons were, they're these pastel colored desserts, very popular in France.
They look almost like hamburgers.
Yeah.
Like little sliders, and they have like cream or something in the middle.
Yes. So the style of making macarons is believed to have come from today's Middle East.
Oh.
And then it made its way to Italy and then to France by Catherine de' Medici, the wife of King Henry II. The French method of making macarons involves whisking egg whites until it forms meringue, and then powdered sugar and almond flour are added slowly and mixed to achieve like the desired consistency.
Okay.
So historically, macarons were the food for the royalty.
Okay.
Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King, King of France from 1643 to 1715. He was also a patron of arts and artists, and he looked after the construction of the Palace of Versailles.
I was going to say, he built Versailles, yeah.
And Chef Adam, who was looking after the wedding of Louis XIV and Marie Therese in 1660. He served this for all the wedding guests because the French royal court, they had an affinity for sweet. Chef Adam, he has now a chocolateria called Maison Adam, which exists even today. And they still use the same recipe that they used in 1660.
Wow.
Wow. It feels very French royalty because it's like teeny tiny and you can hold it in your little thingies and just like little bites like that. And we got to feed it to my lover and my dog.
Yes.
I kind of feel like it really fits the vibe of France at the time and all their like Rococo bullshit of like, we just have piles of macarons and that's what we're going to eat.
Yeah. I think the question comes down to, were they even in France at that time?
Yeah. Well, Catherine de' Medici would have been way before that. I mean, it's hard because it really is just one of those things where it's just like a historical fact. Like it's yes or no.
Right.
Did they serve them or not?
And maybe it's a long tradition of French kings serving these. And it's like, well, yeah, of course he did. And his dad did.
Or I think nothing seems more Marie Antoinette than her, like eating little macarons and like, you know, like it's so like peak France. Like,
let them eat macarons.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So maybe that's the lie. Is no, it wasn't his wedding, Louis XIV. It was Marie Antoinette because that's a person Sups would think we know.
Right.
And then it's like you associate her with being lush and eating cake and macarons. It's
All
maybe
colorful.
Maybe that's where the lie is.
That's totally believable. Yeah. So it would be well known. Or I could easily see it on King Louis XIV's table.
Yeah,
you know?
I was like, well, yeah, dude built Versailles, so why not? I don't know.
Right?
That's a tricky one.
It's tricky. Starting off tricky.
Okay, let's move on then to fact number 2. Time for some savory dish.
Yeah.
Okay, from France, we take a flight straight to Hawaii.
Ooh.
Fact number 2, authentic poke bowls always have tuna in it.
Okay.
Poke bowls. Yes.
Yeah. Very Instagrammable,
Yeah.
very colorful
Yeah.
food. So it contains fish. The fish is raw. Sauce of your choice, any kind of soy sauce. Of course, you have rice. And then you add toppings. It could be avocado, edamame, could even be mango or pineapple. And then you're all mixing them together.
Yeah. So it's like very appealing because it's kind of like a rainbow. In it.
Yes.
Looks
yes.
very fresh and summery.
So if you're from Hawaii, then you have definitely grown up with poke bowls. The closest translation of poke means chunk. So basically, you would just take chunks of fish to make the centerpiece of the meal. Ancient Hawaiian fishermen took these chunks and mixed it with salt or seaweed. In most places, you get it with salmon.
Yeah. Like you mean outside of Hawaii?
Yes. So the authentic poke bowl should always have the ahi tuna or the yellowtail tuna.
Ah.
Okay.
Now, if you put chicken, salmon,
You've just taken the formula, but it's different.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. So I find this pretty believable because of what he was saying about the fish.
Yeah.
So like if you think about it, well, like ahi, I don't know exactly where the name comes from, but I'm pretty sure they live in the Pacific.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that like indigenous people of Hawaii
Right.
had access to this fish and they would use it. I don't know exactly where salmon lives. I associate salmon with the north, with the colder waters.
Yeah.
So like, do they go to Hawaii? I feel like they might. I mean, I don't know fish, man.
Right.
But like, if you're talking traditional, it has to be the fish that were from the region.
Right. So if the fact was it has to have salmon, I would be like, I don't know
Right.
about that. But tuna is much more believable, like you're saying. Yeah. That makes sense.
So yeah, that kind of checks out because this is an old dish. So
Right. So to have authentic Hawaiian poke,
Right.
you would have the authentic Hawaiian fish.
yeah,
Right. That makes sense.
right.
But how could it be a lie?
That, you can make anything a poke bowl.
That
The whole
it's like-
point of a poke bowl is like, it can be anything you want.
It's made of the scraps of the fish, whatever you have left over.
Yeah,
Sure.
maybe that's its vibe.
That could
I don't
be.
know. And I don't know. I could also see it being like, it has to be the fish that the people had
Right.
access to.
Right.
All right. Then we move on to another dessert. Fact number 3. The red in the red velvet cake originally came from natural sources.
What?
So I love me some red velvet. That cream cheese frosting, so good.
Yes.
On cupcakes and cake. Oh, so good.
So, red velvet cake, as the name says, is red in color and is made with combining cocoa powder, butter, sugar, eggs, and flour, as well as buttermilk, vinegar, red food coloring, and the cream cheese frosting.
Okay. So that's how you get it to be red.
Yeah.
Just dyed.
It's just dyed.
So, the modern version of the cake, as we know today, was invented in New York City in the 1920s. This red velvet cake became super popular because the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York, they put it in their menu in the 1930s. But researchers believe that the history of red velvet cake actually goes back to slavery. In the early 1800s, enslaved African Americans, they created a version of the red velvet cake. They used beetroot and with cocoa powder to give it chocolate flavor.
Okay.
But of course, very different than the modern looking one, like one of those older versions.
Okay. That makes sense. Beets are red and
Yeah.
they're sweet.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
And also it makes sense. Most American desserts, if you really start digging, they were invented by enslaved people. Like
Yes.
all of them. Like
yeah,
every
this
pie
makes
you
sense.
can think of. So like that makes it sound more real to me. Enslaved people inventing a dessert that everyone loves now and that probably some rich white dude got credit for making it at some hotel.
Yeah.
That sounds very believable.
Yeah.
I don't know about the whole dye thing though.
Right.
So back in the 1800s, brown sugar was more commonly available than refined white sugar. And brown sugar at that time was called red sugar. And it gave like a vaguely reddish hue. and the cocoa powder. This is not the cocoa powder that we know today. This was like a very different variation. And combining cocoa powder and buttermilk, and that gave the red color.
I mean, that kind of checks out. Like, how would you invent a red velvet cake? Like, if it's not this natural source, then it has to be like an addition. Why would you even think to make it with red food coloring? It would make more sense to me that it came from a natural process of like they put this and this together and it was red. Sure,
yeah, right.
sure.
I don't know. We have one more to hear before we make our final guess.
All right, last course.
Okay. When we talk about food, I cannot not include a fact about India. So,
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, I was kind of waiting for it. I was like, where's India?
All right. So, fact number 4, every state in India has their own version of the Thali dish. Have you seen a Thali? Do you know?
Explain it.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if I know
all right.
this.
So, Thali literally means plate.
Okay.
And Thali is where basically you'd have multiple bowls of like different dishes. Indians are crazy about rice, so the rice is at the center. And then you have like small bowls of different kind of dishes. It's based on the ancient Ayurveda rituals of eating, which believe that every meal should have the presence of 6 tastes.
Okay.
So every meal should have like these elements. They came up in the south of India and quickly spread to the rest of the country. It's probably the most colorful presentation of food that you will see.
I was going to ask, I was
Yes.
like, where's the color?
Yes,
Okay.
it's because all the dishes are different.
They're all different
right?
colors.
Yes. And now, because we have 28 states, every state has their own version.
Okay.
A standard version of a vegetarian thali will contain rice, some flatbread, dal, which is the soup, the salad, raita, pickles, some snacks, curry, a dessert, and then lassi.
Okay.
So these are all arranged around the rice in a
Exactly.
colorful, like rainbow almost.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like this
okay.
is okay because like when you said it, I was like, I know what all of those things are individually, but you're saying this is like when you get the value meal.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, you have
Yeah,
like all
kind
of
of
Happy
the
meal. What's in a
side
Happy
bits.
Meal?
So you have like all the parts. So you're saying every state has a different version.
Yes. And, you get both vegetarian and non-vegetarian. You'll have few meat variations.
Chicken
right?
or
Yeah,
lamb.
chicken, lamb, depending where you are, or like even fish. So
What's the Assam version?
what's the Assam version? So in Assam, so you will have rice, you will have the dal, and then you have fish, which is like a sour kind of fish, which is very popular.
Like with vinegar or like
No, not with vinegar.
citrus?
Yeah, something citrusy. And you'll have actually 2 or 3 different types of fish because river fish is
Right.
very popular.
I feel like that's a hack for
Yeah.
traveling around India. Is like instead of having to like choose and know, just give me the thali and I'll eat whatever is
Yeah.
on here. So hungry.
So hungry
so
now.
dying.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm like, I don't even want to investigate this. I'm just like, yeah, sure.
I just wanna
feel
order
you.
this.
Yeah, I just want to eat it.
I also think like, well, I've had Indian food. Why has this not been on the menu? Have I not been
Yeah.
going to the right
'Cause
places?
it seems to me like it's more of like a style of ordering
Yeah.
than a dish.
Yeah.
So like it wouldn't be on a menu here.
Right.
Because like I guess you could, if you were dining in, you could order it this style.
Yeah.
But like the things in the bowls that you get to eat, like
Right.
I feel like Westerners, we want to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like people would not go for this idea
Right.
that like I'm just gonna give you what I'm
Yeah.
giving you
It-
and you're gonna like it.
Exactly.
So that's why a lot of Indian restaurants here or generally outside India, they do it like as a lunch menu. Yeah.
Okay.
We probably had it. We
I
didn't even
probably
realize.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is this not the universal way to eat?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
I feel like
It's a
I got
personal buffet.
shortchanged
Yeah.
being like born into this food culture.
Yeah.
Like I want to eat everything, little bits of everything for everyone. For the fact or whatever, I'm like, I honestly don't care. I am like,
Sure, maybe one state doesn't have it or something, but it sounds pretty real.
yeah. I think the lie is elsewhere. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna investigate this one.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds too tasty to be a
It
lie.
also sounds very reasonable. It feels like it's a very natural thing that would occur.
Yeah.
I'm not Indian, but this is kind of my understanding of India in general, that it's like, it is a super diverse place, but then also like unified
Yeah.
in some way.
You just said the official slogan of India, which is unity in diversity.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
there
there you
it is. Yeah.
Are you running for anything? Is that your campaign?
That's what
I could not handle an Indian
God.
debate. Have you ever watched one of those debate shows? I could not do that.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
would get eaten alive.
I stress out watching them.
Okay, those were my 4 facts about colorful food.
Yeah, so I'm definitely salivating.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to repeat those 4 facts for us real quick before Tanner and I try to guess which one is the lie.
Okay. Fact number 1. Macarons were served as a dessert at Louis XIV's wedding. Fact number 2. Authentic poke bowls always have tuna in it. Fact number 3. The red in the red velvet cake originally came from natural sources. Fact number 4. Every state in India has their own version of Thali.
All right.
For me, fact number 4, it all seems so real that like I want to believe that.
I'm very inclined to believe Soups on anything about India.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe that's what he's playing with. He
Yeah.
knows that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that one. And what, number 2 is the poke bowl.
Tuna, yeah. That one I'm on the fence on because I think it could be like, oh, it's just the poor people's food, so it doesn't matter the fish. That makes sense to me. But it also is like, well, it should be authentic. It should be tuna. So I'm either way.
So for me, it's between 1 and 3.
Okay.
And we talked a lot about the whole red food dye thing. And like, I'm not super convinced, but seems reasonable. Like I said, like most American desserts, a lot of them originated that way.
Mm-hmm.
If you take away the modern idea of red and you think of a more reddish brown, then like, yeah, people could achieve that.
Yeah.
I convinced myself in the discussion for number 1. I think that's the trick. I think it was Marie Antoinette's wedding where they had the macarons, and that's what he's playing with.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different famous French wedding.
Right. That makes sense because I don't honestly know that much about King Louis XIV.
Yeah.
But I do know more about Marie Antoinette. So that would be more of a believable fact, I think.
Yeah. Macarons seem like such a peak French indulgent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the peak French indulgent idea in your head is Marie Antoinette. So like, even though she wasn't actually French and probably wasn't that indulgent, but you know, that's the stereotype. So I think I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. I think it's the third one. I don't think that it could naturally be that red. I think it would be an interesting experiment to try to make a red velvet cake without adding artificial dyes. Yeah. I think it's number 3.
And I think it's number 1.
Okay, so we've got number 1 about macarons and we've got number 3 about the red velvet cake. Okay, so the lie is fact number 2.
Okay.
The authentic poke bowls can be tuna or an important creature that you forgot, octopus.
Octopus.
Oh no!
What?
Yes.
So it's tuna and
A
octopus.
tuna and or.
But it has to have one of those at least, or it's no good.
Forgot about eating octopus.
Yeah, I guess I was so stuck on fish.
Yeah. So that's traditional to eat octopus
Yes.
poke bowls.
Yes, octopus or tuna, of course. Yeah. Salmon isn't. So
Right.
Yeah.
the moment you put salmon, it's no
like-
longer an authentic.
Or
And
chicken.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yes. Like a vegan
You're like
version of it.
incensed about the chicken. Oh my god! Oh my god! How dare you?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Wow.
we could have thought of other
Yeah.
indigenous foods in the area.
Yeah.
We didn't think of octopus.
Man, forgot about them.
Well, I should have known.
I should have known.
Thanks for listening to I Should Have Known. If you are listening or watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, click the bell, whatever, all the things that people say, and leave us a comment if you guess the lie right or not. If you listen on a more traditional podcast site, it would really help us out if you could rate us on Spotify. It's as simple as clicking 5 stars on the show's main page. Next month, we're going to be doing AI Should Have Known. So episodes about artificial intelligence and episodes created by artificial intelligence. So be on the lookout for that. And as always, thanks for listening.
Delicious.